Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BTC, Body Slam, the competition's first ever official Monday Night Raw recap. And boy, do we have a special recap for you tonight. And there's a lot of shakeups, a lot of shocks involved in the shakeups, a few questionable ones, and a few that everybody probably already figured, and some surprises at that. So we're going to get started with, we have a guest host helping us out this evening because of the fact that Mike and Chris could not make it. And I'd like to introduce you to our guest host. Everybody knows him, Tim. Welcome, Tim. How are you?
What's up? How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Right.
How about yourself?
Doing well. Pretty, a little bit, bothered by some of the things that happened today, but we'll get to that.
Most definitely. First of all, I just want to say thank you for guest host and co-host duties tonight. Chris had some unexpected plans come up, and we all know Mike. Mike has his family situation.
Yeah, well, of course. I've always been a big fan. I've known Chris and Mike for 2 years now. They're friends of mine. I'd do anything for those guys, so it's really glad I would do it. More than happy to do it again.
Much appreciated.
Okay, cool.
So before we get into the matches, in your opinion, on a scale of 1 to 5, what did you think of Monday night's brand shakeup?
Scale of 1 to 5, there was enough surprises for me. In all honesty, I would give it a solid 4 because there's some things when it came because they took a lot of talent from SmackDown. I mean, like a lot of top tier guys, and I'm like, whoa,
They did. They really did.
They did.
And quite frankly, when we were talking about it last night on the prediction show, we were only figuring maybe 4 each way, and if you look at previous brand splits, or I should say the previous brand split in general, when they would do the new draft and everything like that, more or less their version of the roster shakeup, you only seen about 4 or 5 people shift from each show. So the amount of star power that shifted just from one show to the other, it was pretty insane. It was quite unexpected and quite shocking at that.
Yeah, I mean, they basically took him, their half the main event from SmackDown, threw it on Raw, and I'm bothered by that a little. I really am. I just like
right.
I don't understand the. We'll get to that, I know, but I just it kind of bothers me that there were storyline stuff going on that they just smashed overnight. It's
right.
Like,
exactly. But the first segment of the night started with showing the announcers and everything, and you got Michael Cole saying, we're here to shake up the superstar shake up, and shake up the rosters, and all of a sudden you hear John Cena's music, and it's a little shocking because everybody expected, John Cena to be gone, and I know, you probably thought the same thing that I did. Wait a minute. Why the fuck is John Cena here? But lo and behold, it's not John Cena. So we get our first taste on television of the roster shakeup in Miz and Maurice, which I'm kind of surprised they didn't split them, but in the same turn, knowing that they're married, they're high on the WWE is high on Miz, Vince is high on the Miz. I'm surprised, or I'm actually not surprised that they didn't split them, but in the same turn, I'm surprised they shifted him after what transpired on SmackDown on top of the feud with Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, my thing is for that made no sense to me because he's got the feud with not only Daniel Bryan but the thing with Cena was very organic and very it seemed raw and natural and it's the best work and I'm a big Miz fan. I've been a fan of his since his Dirt Sheet days. I think the guy's amazing on the mic. I love how he's progressed in the ring and stuff. But I don't understand why you would take that natural chemistry that he had over there and basically just rip it away. It just doesn't make sense to me. Now, as for Maurice, I could take her, leave her. She's a pretty face, and yeah, she looks great, but who cares? You know, she could,
right.
just
She's
take
just
her,
eye candy.
Yeah, but him, I understand why Raw did it, because they need a big mouth jerk like him, but then again, they have one. They have, Chris Jericho. Why do they need another Jericho?
They have Jericho. They have Owens. They have these guys that are the loudmouth.
Owens is gone.
But Miz, you want to know what Miz is, plain and simple? Do you want to know what he is?
The best heel in the WWE right now, male. The best male heel in the WWE right now.
Aside from JBL, but that's another one that we will touch on later in the week. We will touch on JBL later in the week, plain and simple on that one. But
we'll talk about him.
But before, I forgot to mention, before Raw went, well, actually, you know what? I'll get to that later. So the Miz is out there doing his spiel, and all of a sudden you hear Dean Ambrose's music. And the promo that he cut was just he started talking to him like it was Nikki Bella and John Cena, calling him Johnny. He's like, this is Maurice. He comes in, I love you guys, congratulations on your engagement, congratulations on your win at WrestleMania, because the Miz and Maurice suck. And he hugs them, and he's like, you idiot, like, this is Maurice, I'm Mike.
It sucks though, because I don't get to watch Raw until tomorrow, because the only way I watch is on Hulu. Plug for Hulu. If you don't have cable television or satellite, get Hulu so you can watch all the WWE stuff the next day.
Hey, wait, we're not allowed to plug them. They're not sponsoring us. Until they sponsor us, then that's when we'll plug them, bastards.
Fair enough. Well, maybe that'll help. Maybe that'll help get some sponsorship going. Gotta try something, man. No, but I don't get to watch it until the next day, but I do follow it. Especially like today, because I knew I was coming on here, so I followed what was going on.
And on top of it, it was something that you want to be on top of, and you don't want to have to see online when you go on Facebook or you go on Twitter or whatever it is. Because of the caliber of the show this evening.
Yeah.
And what's at stake.
Yeah, it was. Obviously it was a good shakeup. It was something else. But we do have to talk about the lower tier people. I mean, let's face it. Like, okay, let's go ahead and get him out of the way. Kurt Hawkins, who cares? He'll probably get some more screen time.
Wait a minute, hold on. Don't jump ahead yet. We're going to get there. I was going to go segment through segment and branch into it.
Okay.
You get your first match of the evening. You get the Revival in a rematch against the New Day. Now, mind you, Kofi Kingston's on the shelf. He's got or bone fragments in his ankle after what they did last week. But the match was competitive as hell, and I'll tell you what, they went to go for the midnight hour on Scott Dawson, and just Dash Wilder came in the ring, pulled Dawson down, shoved Big E out of the way, and it was just Xavier came off the top rope and just got nailed in the Shatter Machine. I thought they killed him. Because but it was competitive. But now what's that saying? You look at guys losing. Okay? And it shows. Yeah. Anybody that's lost ends up moving. So, knowing that Kofi's on the shelf, will they move the New Day to SmackDown?
I don't know.
Knowing what transpired tonight.
I mean, it bothers me. Because the new, I mean, they basically turned the New Day into, they once they lost the titles, now they're just jobbers, and it bothers me. These guys were the longest reigning tag team champions in WWE history. What do they get? They get they pretty much they're jobbing everybody now, and it kind of bothers me a little with that. But they are the best. They're so good at what they do though that you can't really get rid of them if you're trying to push Raw. Then you have to, keep those guys around. You know what I mean?
Right, but realistically, let's be real here. The only time, okay, that, or I'm sorry, not the only time, the only reason that they got the longest reigning tag champs in WWE history is because, let's face it, is because Demolition is on that lawsuit. Demolition is a couple of those wrestlers that are suing the WWE because of the concussion protocol. And that's the only reason the New Day got the longest reigning tag champions, because they were a week away, or it was a week over, or something like that, having it, and then the belts get taken from them.
Yeah. I mean, but then, I don't think the New Day was planned in that, but I think that it kind of evolved into that. It just is what it is. But it's still, I think Xavier Woods, I think, is, in all honesty, one of the most talented all-around guys on the roster, period.
Underutilized.
And I honestly believe that.
Take him to the cruiserweight division.
Oh, he'd be fantastic there. He's so good at every aspect of, but they're not.
That basic coast-to-coast elbow drop he did. Granted, his feet touched a little sooner, but I've never seen him do that before, ever.
He did
and
it.
that
He
finishing
did it
move he's got called "Lost in the Woods" is great.
It's cool.
Where he twists your arm and does that drop back with the foot in the face. It's really awesome. It's a great move.
Yeah, but the coast to coast elbow drop. The last time I saw that was, it's been a couple weeks. I've seen it before, but he doesn't. He just kind of added it to the repertoire. But he's. I think it's actually good for them to be without Kofi for a little bit, though, because Kofi, it's Kofi, and everybody loves Kofi. So now it's a chance for Xavier and Big E, especially Xavier, because Big E is Big E, and they're always going to, have him doing what he's doing. But now it's a chance for Xavier to showcase that talent, and I like it.
Right, because Kofi is a former, 7-time tag team champion, I think it's 2-time United States champion. Hell, they were so high on him at one point that they had started a feud with him with Randy Orton. And I still to this day, remember the boom drop off the railing in the crowd through Orton through a table.
It was amazing.
I will never forget that.
I remember they showed this whole...
This is a guy that started out in WWE's version of ECW.
Uh-huh. I know, he started out, he was doing that stupid Jamaican accent and everything else. Now,
that was still cool, especially when DX called him out. It was like, wait, I thought you were from Jamaica.
Yeah, that's the thing, and then he's like, I wasn't, but, he is. He's from somewhere, but he grew up in Boston. But anyway, that's here nor there.
Right.
Anymore.
But anyway, so on to the next segment was, I believe it was Kurt Hawkins.
I love Kurt
Hawkins showing up. And you know what? That was one of those, it was kind of, I had a feeling, it was a gut feeling, but in the same turn, I don't know. He's shifted over for developmental, for enhancement purposes. Just to put people over. But the Big Show coming out and KOing him.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. What does that say about the Big Show? Does that say the Big Show is going to move?
No, I think what it is because that they just kind of showed don't think Kurt Hawkins is going to do anything because the Big Show doesn't do much anymore. He comes in there, does and they lose to the bigger guys and stuff. But Kurt Hawkins is I think now going to be what Heath Slater was a couple of years ago. Where he go out there, talk a big game, and then he go get just stomped by whoever it was, and that's what they're going to do with him. That's who he's going to be. I like him in that role. It's kind of, again, an undervalued talent, but hey, he's good at what he does, and I'm pretty sure he gets paid a lot of money to do it. So who cares?
Right. Well, we also had a backstage segment that I missed, that I forgot about before the tag match, and it was Sami Zayn and Kurt Angle, and apparently there is, which it set up, The Miz interferes, in the conversation, and it sets up a match for later tonight. But apparently there are benefits, from what Kurt Angle stated, for Sami Zayn to go to SmackDown. And apparently, Zayn doesn't want to go to SmackDown. He wants to stay on Raw. But apparently SmackDown is highly, highly interested in him.
Yeah.
And that's one of the guys I say is going to, is probably going to end up getting shifted, and that he will benefit more on SmackDown.
Honestly, I'm either here or there about him. I mean, we've talked about this before. I like him in the ring, but I don't like his character at all. I'm tired of the whole underdog. I'm gonna get, this whole deal and stuff. And he probably will be better off at SmackDown because SmackDown does better booking. And I think they'll utilize him better. But at the same time, I don't think it's really gonna. It's not like he's gonna move up the food chain at all. He's just gonna be who he is. He's just not gonna be getting squashed by Braun Strowman anymore. That's gonna be the only real difference. That's what I think.
Right.
Excuse me.
Well, now the next segment we have is a cruiserweight match, okay, between T.J. Perkins and Austin Aries. And I thought it was a great match. There was a lot of taunting back and forth with Aries, which Aries is great charisma, okay? Well, you have Neville sitting there at commentary. Well, finally, Neville gets tired of it, starts to come down to the ring. And in the long run, T.J. Perkins gets to roll up on Austin Aries. And he's like, dude, I got the 3 count on you, And Aries is like, all right, it is what it is. And starts getting, drawing his attention to Neville, who's standing up at the top of the walkway. And I think and I feel that we may have just seen a T.J. Perkins heel turn. Because he came and he attacked Austin Aries, and he hit him with the fireman carry kick to the head. I can't remember what it's called.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know the name of it either. Cool move, though.
Right.
Yeah, but that's what I heard. I was reading somewhere because, like I said, I didn't watch it, but I read somewhere that a lot of people, and I agree with this, his character kind of is heelish in a way anyway. So why not just go ahead and run with it, And I think it's really well done. And a guy like Austin Aries is, I think, a perfect way to start it off because it brings legitimacy to him turning and everything. I think it's a smart move. Whether or not he can pull it off, I don't know, but we're going to find out.
Right. Well, after that, we have. Gotta think. Seth Rollins came to the ring. Basically, he's saying he wasn't sure, what his future was going to be after Mania. And he has the feeling that, now that Stephanie's going to come back, she's going to look and, basically, not going to give him what he, is owed or is not going to put him in any title pictures and everything because that now he can concentrate on the U.S. title. Well, Kurt Angle comes out and states that, Stephanie wants Seth Rollins gone. But Kurt Angle said, you know what? You did. I've seen a lot of you at WrestleMania. If we would have been having this conversation 3 weeks ago, I would have said, she's right, you're going. But I won the Olympics with a broken freaking neck. He said, you were basically the one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest that won with one leg. He said, you, sir, are staying on Monday Night Raw. And then he gets blindsided by Samoa Joe. Now, at one point, I thought Angle was literally going to get physical.
That would be awesome, but, they can't do that quite yet with him. They got to wait. They got to bide their time with that. Yeah, I mean, my only concern is I love Seth Rollins. I think that he's one of the best. Again, one of those guys. I really believe he may be the top guy in the company. Period. Overall, when he's healthy, that's a big if as well. Because he's been hurt a lot. I mean a lot. He's missed how much time in the last 2 years? A significant chunk of time he's missed. And it's kind of like, well, what do you? You can't really. It's I forgot. You hear this a lot, like professional football. What's the most important ability you can have? Availability. And he's not always available.
Right.
It's kind of hard to,
Right.
I love the guy though, and I hope that he, I hope that this leg injury heals up, and I hope that he goes on and wrestles for another 20 years, and I'm still.
Prime example. You brought up football.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can look at guys that get injured. Tom Brady gets injured. He comes back. He's still Tom Brady. Okay?
Yeah.
You look at Donovan McNabb. Donovan McNabb got injured. He was never the same again.
No. Well, Don, they were different types of athletes. So, because Tom Brady's always been a drop-back pocket passer, while Donovan McNabb was much more of an athlete, you know. So
okay, fine. You want to go with drop passers. All right. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady.
Yeah. True.
Peyton was never the same.
I agree. Oh no. He never was. Especially once they stopped. Yeah, we're not going to talk about the whole steroid rumors and stuff. But anyway.
Right.
But anyway, I see what you're saying with that.
Right. You know, it depends on who it is. You know, you get guys like Triple H, they get hurt, they come back even stronger. You get guys like Kurt Angle, they get hurt, they come back even stronger. Edge, you know, all these guys there.
Yeah.
Something like that, a knee injury, you know, it's tough to come back from.
And I mean, especially being that, I mean, when it happened, it was, it literally buckled for nothing, you know, and it gave way. So that's a little different than, you know, some kind of actual trauma. No, the leg just gave way. It's a little different.
Exactly. You know, so it's one of those. It's a real hairy situation with that because of the fact that, you know, if he tweaks it the wrong way again, he's done.
I think we're gonna see him change his moveset though. You know, a lot more. Cause, I mean, he does
there's
a lot of stuff.
Possibility his style's going to change. But now knowing that Ambrose is on Raw, you think you're going to see a Shield reunion?
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, they're all faces. Why not? They may not be the Shield,
right?
But they will. You know, but I think that they will do. But they're all going to be fakes. You know, they'll get together and do their whole thing. Hey, brother, you know, thing. And that would be pretty cool, I think. I mean, I'm not.
Right.
You know,
or if anything, you're going to see a backstage segment here and there with them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. That kind of thing. You'll see them together, like they do with Rollins and Reigns. Every once in a while, they'll put them together, just kind of for, you know, like a week.
Right, or when you see at pay-per-views, you know, when you see like at the big four pay-per-views, when you see, you know, the club.
Yeah.
You know, but so now you end up with a match. Well, you had a backstage segment with Owens, and he's basically saying, you know, they can do what they want to do, but the best of the best always comes out on top. So that was just your typical, you know, backstage thing, which puts in my mind, okay, Ambrose is on Raw now. He's the mid-card title holder for, you know, the brands. Owens is the mid-card title holder as well. Do you see him going to SmackDown? Knowing that he's got a match against Jericho at Payback, and Jericho's a Raw guy.
Well, maybe they move them both. That's a possibility.
But then again, look at it this way. Jericho's leaving. He's got his tour coming up with Fozzy. Yeah,
that's true. Hey, Jericho's he's the most full-time, part-time guy I've ever seen. I mean, let's face it. You know, he's always there, but he's, you know, supposedly a part-time guy. You know, but yeah.
Right, but that's what keeps him relevant, though. That's what keeps his character fresh.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly think with him, with that whole thing is, I hope that they see this whole thing to conclusion. You know, with Jericho and KO, and they don't just do like they did with oh my God, Bray. Like just drop it, boom, done. You know. Although real quick with the Ambrose, I just think about that. You were just talking about Ambrose. Him and Baron Corbin were actually doing something really nice. And I'm not a Baron Corbin guy. In fact, I think Baron Corbin, he like I told Chuck this before. I told him, you know what? He reminds me of that short order cook that pokes his head out and gives you dirty looks when you order something that's right off the menu. That's what he looks like to me.
Right.
You know, so I'm just not a fan of him. But they were doing something good, and then they go and they just take it away. So I don't
right,
understand
but once again, you see guys lose knowing that there's some kind of shake-up, and usually the losing guy gets moved.
Well, yeah, but he lost but the champ lost last week to, you know, Corbin.
He lost 2 weeks in a row, or he won at Mania on a pre-show.
Yeah.
And then he loses, you know. So it's a tough call on that one. Whether or not it was a good decision or not, it was still a great ending to the feud, regardless.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So
I don't know. I think they had
match,
a chance to build something.
They did, and they that's the problem. They don't let things build up properly, and we've mentioned that many a times. It's very rare to find a strong build up on something.
Yeah.
So, but now next match you got Nia Jax, or as like Chris likes to call her, She-Quake, against Charlotte, and it was just no doubt about it, basically pure domination by Nia. I mean, she kicked out a natural selection. The moonsault, off the top rope was great. I got to give it to Charlotte. She's very athletic. I'm not a fan of hers, but she's a great
Charlotte
heel.
And go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead.
I was going to say, and she's a great heel. She's great in the ring, but it just ended up being, and Nia pulls out a new move out of the repertoire, which is like a modified Cobra Clutch. And, it just ended up being Charlotte just getting dominated, plain and simple. And there's no doubt about it.
I hate that because, you take somebody like Charlotte who, honestly, I think she has the best looking moonsault in at least WWE right now. That shit is good every time. It's beautiful. And I honestly think that she's the best overall.
Chanting, "This is awesome," or "Holy shit" during a Charlotte match, something right's going on, especially when she's facing somebody like Nia.
Yeah, well, Nia is going to be booked as an unstoppable monster, and we all know it's going to happen. She's going to eventually be the women's champion, and it's going to happen. But the thing is is that why are you doing Charlotte wrong like that? At least make it look good, At least make it, don't make it into, a total domination, because Charlotte's not the type of character that would be dominated on no matter what. Because it's not like she's she's not freaking what's her name? The one girl, Snoop Dogg's cousin or whatever. Her
Sasha Banks,
who's like 5 foot, like 100 pounds soaking wet. No, Charlotte's a big woman. And they shouldn't treat her that way. But what are we gonna do?
Well, Charlotte's almost 6 foot.
Yeah, she is. She's like 6 foot. She's muscular. And she's an athlete. She's a legit athlete. So,
and like I mentioned last night, she is also has the background of a personal trainer.
And she was a college volleyball player as well, and a bunch of other things. And she's, it's just, I hate that they do that because I'm actually a fan of hers. She still needs a little bit of mic work, but in the ring, she's excellent. In the ring, she's excellent. But, let's face it, she's still pretty new to wrestling in the big picture. But, I don't know. I think they are going to move her, though. She's going to move. Which,
Charlotte?
Obviously. Yeah, they're going to move her to SmackDown because, they kind of have to now.
Right. So, but now the next one, the next match we have is Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn facing The Miz. Or no, I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead. It was Finn Balor and Jinder Mahal. That was basically a squash match, more or less.
Oh, of course.
To lead into our next, which is just beyond me, our next superstars shake-up trade. And
don't even give me it.
Of Worlds, Bray Wyatt.
Why? I mean, why? They have so much going on with the thing with him and Orton and all that stuff, and they just
but my question is this. Again, just like they still have the House of Horrors match, which I still have no fucking idea what that is. Okay.
They're going to make
the only thing I can figure is it's like that
pictures.
match in ECW, right? And it's he says he came there with a special gift, the gift of payback, and he's going to torture Randy Orton. But in 3 weeks at Payback, I think it is, he has to face Randy Orton, which I thought Payback was, Raw's pay-per-view. But hey, I could be wrong unless they're, it's a dual pay-per-view again. I don't know. Or or is there a chance that maybe, just maybe, Bray Wyatt's going to win that belt and bring that belt to Raw? Because we haven't heard anything in terms of who's going to SmackDown yet. So that's up in the air as well. But, I think that could make a great feud, Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor, the Demon versus the Eater of Worlds.
I think so too, but again, there's that whole Finn Balor, coming off of injury thing and stuff that worries me. Is Finn capable of, of handling that? Because Finn's not young. People don't realize that. He's been wrestling a long time, and he's not a young guy. He looks young, but he's not. And that kind of worries me. Little guys coming off an injury and stuff, and and I don't know. I mean, should Finn be getting the title shot? He never lost the title.
Right, and Bray, Bray's getting his rematch, but and now here's the other thing with this: if you do this. Okay, and you do Bray Wyatt against Finn Balor. All right, who do you put over? That's the question. Because they're both huge followings. They're both, at the top of their game, the prime of their career right now.
For me,
and
honestly,
if you turn around and you put Finn Balor over, well, now Bray Wyatt's back in that rut again of his losing big feuds. But if you put Bray Wyatt over Finn Balor, everybody's going to be like, well, what the fuck?
Well, but in all honesty, for me, I would put Bray over Finn because Finn's going to, Bray, like you said, Bray's got that, he's got that, stigma about him where he's, where he loses the big feuds, which I understand. It's all, it's all storyline based and stuff. It's not like he's actually really losing matches, but it's still part of the equation. So why not have him come out and win this feud with Finn if they actually do it? Because we all know how quickly they switch stuff, and it could be blah blah blah, and they'll be doing something else over here the next week like it never happened. But and that's my thing. Is that I would personally put Bray over, but then again, I'm a Bray person. I'm not too familiar. I've seen Finn Balor work, and I'm still I like his work, but I don't really know it that well yet to really have an opinion of him. You know what I mean?
Right. And it bothers me because Bray Wyatt in NXT was just unstoppable. And he's being known as the Eater of Worlds. And the only worlds he ate was Kane and Kofi Kingston, and they started with The Miz, and they dropped that. And everything else was let's let Bray win all the matches in between and then lose the final match of the feud.
Yeah, he'll lose he loses to Vince's guys. That's who he loses to. Let's face it. Over and over and over again. So it kind of makes it really difficult. And I think no matter what happens, if it's done right, this is a feud for the fans. No matter who wins it, the fans are going to love this if it ever comes to fruition, as we well know. And if it does, I think it's going to be fun and entertaining. And Finn doesn't have Bray on the mic, but he doesn't have to be because Bray is so phenomenal on it. And they're both great in the ring, so it's going to be great. No matter what happens,
Exactly. So, it's going to be one of the things that you have to watch because now that Bray Wyatt is one of the main, like Ambrose has done it all with everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is what it is. And before I move on to the next segment, I want to go with the picks that have come across. Actually, you know what? I'll talk about feuds once we finish the actual recap for Raw, and then we can talk about the potential feuds of the guys that have moved over.
Okay.
So the next segment, you get Sami Zayn beating The Miz. The match itself was just kind of lackluster, although, I love, and he's still using Daniel Bryan's moves. And it is what it is. Imitation is the best form of flattery. What is it? What's the old saying? Imitation is the best form of flattery?
That is correct. Yeah, it's the purest form of flattery, but yeah.
That's what it is.
But
but and I got to say, the one move that Sami Zayn has that I absolutely love is that Blue Thunder Bomb. because he just gets the rotation down perfectly. Like, it's just, and that haluva kick, you catch it the right way, it could be one hell of a move. But in the end, Sami Zayn got the roll up on The Miz and won the match.
God. Why bring The Miz over there and then have him lose to Sami Zayn? I don't get that, but I understand. You know, they want Sami Zayn to be, you know, who he is, and that's fine. You know, now because you think The Miz is going to tolerate that? No, next week, if I think they might be trying to build something with those two, obviously, because, you know, The Miz isn't exactly going to go away, you know, whimpering. You know, he's going to come out,
right.
You know,
he's not going to walk away with his tail between his legs.
No. You know,
hold on. We have I thought we had a caller. I was looking, and I see two numbers, and we don't.
Huh.
But now we have that segment. Now, this next one just blew my mind. Okay, you have a backstage interview with Roman Reigns, with Michael Cole, and Roman Reigns basically said that his match at WrestleMania was bittersweet because of the respect he had for The Undertaker. Having to retire someone you respect is sad. Roman Reigns stated that, okay? But he also stated you have to do what you have to do. And all of a sudden, he gets blasted by Braun Strowman. I mean, he destroyed him. I mean, the height, picking Reigns up the way he did, throwing him over an electrical box through a table, just literally destroying him, smashing his face with, you know, while he's on the ground on his side between a concrete wall and electrical equipment box. Meanwhile, the entire time this is going on, the fans are chanting, "You deserve it." All right.
That's not cool.
Now, they call for the paramedics. They strap Roman up to the gurney. And here comes Braun Strowman again. And I don't know if they had something down there, but he pushed him off of the ledge of a loading dock onto the concrete wall while still strapped beneath the stretcher. I mean, they had him clipped all the way down. Now, my thing is this. If they didn't have something down there, whether they did or didn't, his head hit on concrete. Now, his arms looked like they could come up, but the way that hit, look, I'm not a Roman Reigns fan, okay? And I know, and this is for you, okay? Because I know how you feel about your boy.
I'm actually not a Roman Reigns fan.
I know, that's the sarcasm behind it, though. But, you know, his head, like, whether you know, if that was planned, obviously it was planned, but you got to feel for the guy because that man looked like he hit very awkwardly. But wait, that's not the best part about it. They get him up, and they put him in the stretcher, and here comes Braun Strowman again. I'm not through with you, starts punching him in the face, goes out, and flips the fucking ambulance on its, literally by himself, flips the ambulance on his side.
I saw that.
I'm watching. The whole time I'm watching underneath the ambulance. Now, I noticed they didn't show the opposite side, but I'm looking for shadows to see if there's something pulling it. But then I thought about it. Braun Strowman has entered strongman contests. He has pulled tractor trailers. So he legit probably lifted that thing. Because they may have flipped.
God.
I don't know if you've ever been in the back of an ambulance, but a lot of times when they get the stretchers in, there's a spot that automatically locks the wheels once you hit it.
Yep.
So they were probably locked. But for him to do that, I've seen feats of strength in the WWE. I've seen Mark Henry, you know, take and even though it was a gag because, you know, they took a real cast iron steel frying pan and Mark Henry rolled it up like a burrito. Okay, I've seen the Big Show lift cars, but to lift an ambulance?
I actually saw that clip. I showed it to my entire family who don't even like wrestling, and I was telling them, I was like, "Look at this! This is nuts! This is the strongest human being I've ever seen in my life." You're like, "Wow!"
Right.
I was doing the same thing too, where I was looking for something where maybe they jacked it up. Nope, it doesn't look like it. It looks like he straight picked that thing up and pushed it over. You're like, "Wow!"
I mean, you've seen him grabbing for leverage. You've seen him doing everything in his power to try to, like, get leverage and shift his weight. I mean, it was legit, like, I think that he really did that.
Think about it. Even if there was a little bit of assistance, even if he did like 9/10 of the way, still the freakish strength that man has. I mean, like that. From what I understand, is he's really safe in the ring. Which is, think about that real quick. This guy is like freakishly strong and could accidentally hurt people really easily, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, it's like,
I mean,
wow.
you see the way he throws people around.
Yeah. These are 280-pound men, some of them, and he's throwing them around like they're toilet paper. You know, Roman Reigns is not a
right.
man.
I mean, even if Roman, like, you see in the ring, the people will help jump a little bit. Even if Roman helped jump when Strowman threw him over the probably a 6 foot tall, electrical box.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
And launched him a good 8 feet.
Oh, yeah, that guy's a freak.
Like you said, he's a 200-plus pound man. I mean, almost Roman's a 250-pound-plus man. That's to do that. It's just
that's a big man. Yeah. Just
right.
Yeah, that man's that Braun Strowman's a freak. I mean, there's no doubt about that. A physical just freak. Like wow.
Yeah, but if you look at that man, okay. Little does people realize he was actually one of the Rosebuds for Adam Rose.
I know. I actually saw that. I actually saw him in the background of one of those one time. Can somebody point that out? I'm like,
well, you've had Simon
so
Gotch do it. You've had Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch. They've all been a Rosebud at one point.
Yeah. Yeah, Zack Ryder was the bunny for a long time, So it was,
well, that's speculation. That's speculation, because I've also heard that it was Sami Zayn.
I've heard him. I've heard Zayn. I've heard Zack Ryder. And I've heard there's one other one too. But there was like
I've heard Byron Saxton. No, I'm kidding.
I won't go
there. By
there.
the way, who the hell is Byron Saxton? Really?
What do you mean?
Who?
Okay,
I know who Byron Saxton is, but I don't think Byron Saxton can figure out who he is. I know he was in FCW. I know that he teamed up. He won tag team gold with somebody down in FCW. He had his thing going, but who is Byron Saxton? That is my infamous question. And if you ask Ollie Davis on Twitter, he'll tell you he doesn't even know who Byron Saxton is, because all his stuff he asks, who is Byron Saxton? I digress. But now you get the shakeups. Well, now you get the shakeups, and we find out that not only have Dean Ambrose, The Miz, Maurice, and Kurt Hawkins all come over to Raw, but you have Apollo Crews.
But he was the first one they announced.
Right, but they announced him later on, so he was the first one to go in general. But you also have Kalisto, which I think is great, because now that I see them transitioning him into the Cruiserweight division.
It made no sense to not have him in the Cruiserweights. I mean, he is one of the best small guys in wrestling, period. And he should be treated as such. And the guy is super talented.
Right. I mean, and he's also a former 2-time United States champion.
Yeah. Exactly. And he's
former
NXT
tag team champion.
Yep. Former WWE tag team champion, isn't he?
No, they never got WWE tag team champion.
Oh, I thought they won the tag titles. The Lucha Dragons did.
No.
No, I thought they did.
But now, could we see a union of the Lucha Dragons again?
I hope so, because I really enjoy them, and I actually like the current Sin Cara. I like him a lot.
Yeah,
I like the guy under the mask.
Hunico?
Yeah, Hunico. I like the guy under the mask, and I love his work, and and everything else. I wasn't a big fan of the first one, because he dislocates his finger and quits, kind of guy. Just whatever.
No, he just the first time Sin Cara came in, they had to dim the lights because he was always botching moves.
Yeah. I know.
You know, but they also announced Zack Ryder, or I'm sorry, not Zack Ryder, Heath Slater and Rhino, Beauty and the Man Beast have shown up to Monday Night Raw now.
Yeah. Why?
So now we have a tag team that has moved over.
Yeah. But I mean, what? I mean, it's not like it. You know, I don't know about that because those guys, I like them. Again, Keith Slater, I've always had, you know, a soft spot in my heart for that guy. Even during the Nexus and the core dates and all that stuff. I found him interesting. You know, Rhino is Rhino, greatest spear I've ever seen. That's my opinion. His spear is amazing, and I will always have a love for that man. But I don't understand why bring him over unless they're planning on bringing, you know, flipping who though? Who? Sorry. That wasn't
it's all good.
You know. No, that was my point. Was that I was making a reference. They're who?
Right.
You know, taking those guys and putting them over there. You know, which you may be right on. I don't know, but I don't know about that though. I think it's a good move because they're good. You know, they're good enhancement guys, and they're both good at what they do. So I guess it works. You know, for those two. And for Hawkins, whatever, we already talked about that. You know.
Right. So now you've got the next match. You have brain fart.
Well, that's probably what the match was.
Oh, you have the 8-man tag. Okay. You have the Shining Stars and the Club versus
the Club?
Cesaro and Sheamus and the Hardy Boys.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's an interesting team, but wow, talk about throwing the Club under the bus there. I mean, what? You know, I don't know. That just doesn't, you know.
Right.
Where's Enzo and Cass?
Well, they were seen in a backstage segment.
Okay.
Yeah, they were seen in a backstage segment with Seth Rollins. But it was a great match, you know. But in the midst of this, okay, during the Hardy Boys entrance, as the Hardy Boys were coming to the ring and getting into the ring, you had a little appearance on the stage wandering around.
Yeah.
And you're probably wondering who.
I don't know, the broken
man
Hardy?
I said this last night about how when the draft initially happened, people got drafted from NXT.
Okay.
The Drifter, Elias Sampson, started wandering around on the stage.
Oh, did he? Oh, okay. Well, again, like I said, I didn't see it, so, you know, wow.
So he's on Raw. But the match is just great. I mean, when you get a chance, go back. You'll see the match, you know, and it was just a great match. But in the end, Jeff Hardy has a new version of the Twist of Fate. He drops it into like a stunner.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah. But in the end, Matt puts the Twist of Fate on Primo, and Jeff goes to do the Swanton Bomb. But he doesn't do the Swanton like he used to, or he just may have screwed up this one. But he landed all his middle of his back dead on the one Shining Star.
Oh, that's not good.
All of his weight.
So somebody got hurt there, probably.
Yeah. But there was actually a show of sportsmanship after the match. Sheamus and Cesaro offered their hands to shake hands with the Hardys, like Sheamus, being a good guy, extended his hand to shake the hands. But whether Cesaro and Sheamus are those heels or those faces or whatever it may be, it's the Hardy Boys. you're going to show these guys respect.
Oh, of course, yeah, that's perfectly fine. I get that. Why wouldn't you? I mean, the fact is that's a match that that you want to have, especially the tag team wrestler. You want that,
right?
So I get that.
But all in all, it was a great match. The Hardy Boys, Cesaro, as I like to call him.
Cesaro.
Ended up winning Cesaro, Shamaro, one or the other.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Ended up, or Cesaris.
But
it ended up being a great match.
Really? I guess honestly the Shining Stars are not bad. They're both talented guys. It's just, again, one of those gimmicks where it's like, why? Those guys.
Well,
I
caught somebody call them. Oh, JBL. I caught JBL call it the bullfighter. He said it during the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. There goes the bullfighter, as one of the Shining Stars got thrown out the ring.
Yeah, that's what they were. They were Los Matadores or whatever, and then they throw them into Shining Stars or whatever. Was that what they were called? I don't remember.
Yeah, they're called the Shining Stars. First it was Los Matadores, and now it's the Shining Stars.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought it was. Yeah, and that's the problem, is that these guys are stuck with these crappy gimmicks, and they're both good wrestlers. They're both good guys. And
they come,
both, they
come from strong lineage, too.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm very familiar with who they are, and, I know who, I know who their father is, and they're one of their brothers, and I don't know which one's brother it is, but whatever. No, but yeah, I mean,
they're both brothers. They're all three brothers. You've got Carlito, Epico, and Primo, and then their father Carlos Colon.
I thought one.
And they actually have a sister as well. They have a sister as well that I'm not sure if she wrestles, but she's smoking. Now, speaking of smoking, this leads us into the next segment. Okay. Sasha Banks coming to the ring, introduces Bailey, and, you got the wacky, waving, inflatable, flailing tube men guys, but, Byron calls them the inflatable Bailey buddies. And Corey Graves says, I wish you would get traded. He goes, why? He goes, so I don't have to hear that stupid Bailey buddies thing come out of your mouth again. And, they come to the ring. Yeah. Right. They come to the ring and, they're talking and she's saying, congratulations on your victory, but your moment's over. And we all know where Sasha was going with this. Sasha wanted to challenge Bailey for the title. And all of a sudden, you hear our man, Chris's favorite guy.
Chris's favorite girl, you mean?
Or, yeah, Chris's favorite girl. My bad.
Oh, Alexa Bliss. I love her.
Alexa Bliss gets traded to Raw. And she came out and she said she's there to do what she does best, win and dominate. She's like, I'm glad. Are you guys done making me feel like I'm going to throw up? She goes, I'm here. I'm a two-time SmackDown Women's Champion, and all I do is win. Well, as soon as she said something, we have another trade. This just in. Mickie James, the only 6-time women's champion. She has had the most women's championship reigns in women's history.
Yeah, I know. They're waiting for her to hit number 7 to tie Trish Stratus for WWE. But yeah, of course, Mickie James did all that stuff everywhere else. So,
no, actually, I think she's topped Trish Stratus. I don't think Trish has 7.
They were talking about that at the last pay-per-view. I'm pretty sure she's one short to tie, but who cares?
Well, then she came out and she misworded it because she said she's got the most wins as most championship reigns.
Well, technically she does if you count other places like they do with everybody else.
No, she's saying WWE unless it's it could be Divas Championships because Trish was a 6-time women's or 7-time women's and Mickie James was a 6-time Divas champion, so
that's true, and
that could have been the miscommunication. But and just as she's coming down the ring, she gets blasted by Nia Jax, and she's out. She's out cold. And she goes to get in the ring, Well, it's like a bulldozer. She literally got bulldozed over.
Well, yeah, it's not Nia Jax. I mean, she would kill pretty much all of us if she were to decide to run through us. I mean, she's a large, scary, strong woman. You know.
Exactly. But she gets in the ring, and Alexa Bliss basically just pushes, Sasha into her, and Sasha gets blasted, and Bayley runs, or Bayley goes to chase after Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss runs, and Nia hits Bayley with a Samoan drop, and basically stands over and says, "This belt is mine, Bayley," and dropped the belt, walked away, stared at Alexa Bliss face to face, and just kept going up the ramp.
I love it. I mean, oh man, no. Yeah, I love what Nia Jax,
What's that?
I love what they're doing with Nia Jax. Instead of doing like they do with Awesome Kong and stuff, where they brought her in and just whatever, or they're making Nia Jax look like the monster she should be. And I like it.
Right, but realistically, I wouldn't be surprised if Nia Jax showed up in the Royal Rumble.
That would be pretty cool next year. I can see her eliminate somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like every woman that has entered has eliminated somebody. But speaking of women, there was a backstage segment as well with one of your favorites and one of my favorites. It's Dana Brooke backstage reading a book on how to self, whatever she was to everybody. I don't know, not sidekick, but protege. How to self-protege. And Emma shows up, and Emma says, "Let's go." It's more or less like, why? She's like, "Well, I'm here to pick up the pieces after Charlotte ditched you." And basically, in little words, Dana Brooke said, "I'm going to stand on my own 2 feet, and I don't need you."
Ooh.
And walked off.
Okay, good. Good for her.
So
good for her on that.
A feud. That's more or less setting up a feud if they don't get moved around.
Yeah, I like I said, I am so excited to see Emma back. I love me some Emma, and I know she's not the greatest wrestler in the world, but maybe but I'm glad to see her back.
Right, as am I.
Yeah, and I think that could be interesting because it's nice to see, two people who really haven't had much of a role on TV. I mean, let's face it, what's her name? What the other one? Not Emma, the other one. Like her name right now.
Dana Brooke.
Dana Brooke has been basically the foil since she's been, on TV. She's been like basically the patsy, and she's been doing this kind of thing, and she, like you said, like she said on the thing, I'm going to stand on my own 2 feet. And I mean, Emma's kind of always been an afterthought. So it'd be nice to see those two maybe get some screen time and maybe do something with it. I mean, this could be a good thing.
Right.
Well, could be.
Now, I definitely feel that it's going to be a good, setup for, where things are going to go, and in terms of feuding, I don't see either one of them being in the title picture yet. But who's to say that it won't happen?
No, I'm not talking about either one of them being a champion anytime soon. But like I said, give them a chance to showcase themselves. That's all I really want to see, because I like that. I like to see people that are always on the top. Getting a look at these people. Because that's how you get new talent, the attention. That's how you get all this stuff, is by giving them an opportunity to show the fans what they can do. And this may be their chance. Especially Dana Brooke.
Right.
I mean, Emma's had matches. Dana Brooke, as far as I know, I don't think I've ever actually seen her do a one-on-one match. A couple tag team matches here and there, but I don't watch every show. So, does she? I mean, has she lose a lot of times? I don't know. All right. Anyway.
Well, the last match you have is Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens, champion versus champion. And it ended up being a really, really good match, But as we know, in the end, someone's got to lose. And at this point, it was Kevin Owens losing.
Of course. They got to bring Ambrose in and make Ambrose, what he is, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. I really am. I'm okay with Ambrose, going over on Kevin Owens in the situation. No, that's fine. No.
Right. Well, at the end of that match, it ended up being Chris Jericho coming out.
And interfere or
and
distracting
hitting Owens with the. Oh, this was after the match was over. And Ambrose looks over and looks at both. Oh, this ain't my problem, and leaves the ring. Jericho gets in the ring, hits him with a code breaker, and stands there and says, "Drink me in, man."
I love Chris Jericho.
Yeah. Well,
I was actually watching his Man of 1,004 Holds promo from WCW last night.
The Man of 1,004 Holds, arm breaker 10 times on the list. Which is funny because I actually seen a photo of Jericho and Goldberg standing there shooting the shit after they almost gotten literally legit. They did not like each other. So I don't know if it was a respect factor and they're just older. It's 20 years later. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they're adults now. At the time when Goldberg came in, he was 30. Jericho was 26 years old. At the time when they were both in WCW. So you're looking at the teenage bullshit. I mean, you're what? You're probably around my age, early 30s, right?
Yeah. No, I'm actually 40. I just turned 40. So.
Oh, you're actually 40.
Yeah, I'm 40.
Oh, well, happy belated birthday.
That's okay. But,
but you know what I mean. When you're in your 20s, you still have that partial teen mentality to an extent, and you really don't fully grow up mentally until you're in your 30s. And even then, some people are still idiots.
Yeah, well, we're idiots for the rest of our lives anyway. We just are.
Pretty
That's
much.
how I honestly believe that. But I mean, honestly, I'm glad that they became adults and that they figured it out.
Right. Well, I also did find out something else. As we were talking, I was doing a little snooping to see if anybody else gets moved around, and there was another change.
Who?
Byron Saxton is going to SmackDown. David Otunga is coming to Raw.
Who cares? That's trading. That's like trading one turd for another. Yeah, I mean. Actually, Byron Saxton has more to contribute than David Otunga, though.
Yeah, but I feel bad for Byron. I do, because of the bullying. Justin Roberts has already stated that the bullying problem with JBL, how he turned around and took Justin Roberts' passport and he couldn't board the plane and was 8 hours late because he had to go find his passport and all this other stuff.
Did you ever see the ride-along?
Actually. That's what I was going to say. It was JBL's idea to leave Byron Saxton stranded, without his luggage, without his stuff.
Cole, yeah. Him and Michael Cole. Yep. It was those two riding with him, and they just left him stranded. I watched that. I was like, dude.
Right. And as a matter of fact, John Morrison turned around and said that JBL, this was when, Eminem was still around, was pretty much like, hey, you guys should grab his passport. And they're like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah, I mean, he's been a bully. I mean, there's plenty of reports of him doing things that are just straight up cruel, and mean to people. That basically, that's why Morrow left. Morrow now left because of him. Think about it. And that just sickens me, guys.
Right. So it is what it is, and like I stated last night, Mauro Ronaldo, I don't know if you were there for it, you may have been when we spoke about this, but Mauro is well respected in the community of athletes and the community of journalism.
Mm-hmm.
And for that to happen, that's highly upsetting.
Exactly.
That angers me.
more on bipolar disorder, and it's just
He's
he's
a manic depressive.
Yeah, is that what it is? It was something like that. But I know that he was, and think about this. This guy is. I remember the first time I had never heard of him before, and then the first time I heard his voice, I was like, "This guy is magic." The very first time,
Yes.
and a guy like this dude, this asshole, straight up, basically torments him to the point where he just quits. Wow.
He's still under contract, but he's no longer doing announcing. His contract is not up until August. But now let's move on to this next part, because we have about 25 minutes left of the show. Because we're only doing an hour and a half tonight. So, because I didn't think 2 hours, I figured 2 hours was going to be too long.
Yeah, hour and a half, 20. We're good.
Yeah. So now we have Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, The Miz, Mickie James, Rhino and Heath Slater, Alexa Bliss, Apollo Crews, Kalisto, and Kurt Hawkins.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to benefit the most, aside from, the obvious? And by the obvious, I mean, not Kalisto, Apollo Crews, or Jobber Hawkins.
Honestly, for me, I think that Ambrose is going to benefit the most from it. Because
really?
Basically they're reuniting with the Shield. I honestly believe that they are not moving the other two. They're not going to. They're
it's already stated that they're not moving Rollins.
They won't move Reigns either. I'm sorry. There's no way, because that's just not going to happen. That's just my opinion.
Which, by the way,
I don't see it happen.
By the way, AJ Styles did not get moved.
I knew it wouldn't happen, because he's I think that they would have to swap those two.
He's the champ that runs the camp. He's the face that runs the place. SmackDown is the house that AJ Styles built.
Yep, and agreed, and that's why. But I actually see Ambrose doing, benefiting the most. And honestly, if they move Kalisto to 205, which is what they should do with him, he'll be who he should be.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine the matches between Kalisto and Rich Swann? The matches between Kalisto and Neville, Austin Aries. I mean, there are other guys that are faltering. You haven't seen Tozawa on Raw lately. There's guys you haven't been seeing, but the matches against the obvious. It's going to be. You could even see Sin Cara versus Kalisto, which it is what it is, but. It would. It really would. And that's why I see with Kalisto in terms of feud-wise, it's going to be a good one between him and Neville. Kurt Hawkins, like I said, he's going to be Job Squad number 2.
Yeah, he's just going to do what he does, and he's going to get beat a lot, and that's his role, and who cares, Good for him.
Right.
He's
now,
on TV.
As far as the women are concerned, that's going to be tough, because I could see either Mickie James or Alexa Bliss ending up with the Raw Championship. Knowing how much they like to play hot potato with that belt, there's a lot of potential there. There really is. I mean, Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks, that right there I would love to see. Mickie James versus, any of the dynamics there I think will work out really, really, really well.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm afraid that they're going to end up misusing Alexa, because because they've got to let her do her thing, and being
right.
that, being that they don't give a whole lot of time to the women really on Raw. They seem to give a little more to the women on SmackDown. And Alexa's not the greatest in-ring worker, but she is magic on the mic. The things she does, like with the ref and stuff, where she goes, "Shut up, I know," and things like that. It's magic and it's beautiful. But I hope that they don't misuse her. That's what I'm worried about with her.
But now you're also factoring in Mickie James and Alexa coming in. How is the chemistry going to be with Stephanie McMahon?
Well, I mean, Mickie James and Stephanie have known each other forever. So I don't think that's going to matter. And I think that Stephanie, most people, from what I understand, take the world of Alexa, away from the, off TV. So I don't think it's going to be an issue at all. I really don't, because they're both, Mickey James is a great hand, and she's a great talent, and she's going to be that locker room person and all that stuff. And, Alexa's an up-and-coming, star, a legit star that people, involved there. That's what I think.
Right.
Now,
now Rhino and Slater, I'm not going to say they're going to be jobbers. I don't. But I don't think they're going to flourish. Now especially with the revival coming up and with the Hardys being back, and with Sheamus and Cesaro becoming a true tag team now. I don't think they're going to flourish. I think they're going to falter, if anything.
Well, I think their intent is to, kind of put them over there, and I really think that the SmackDown tag team titles that they got were more of a here, like for Heath Slater, who's been a good hand and has been, who is actually a solid worker in the ring, and he's really good on the mic and stuff. And I think it was just kind of a career reward for him. And Rhino, the same thing is what it was.
Right.
That's what I feel.
Well, Rhino has officially held gold in every company he's wrestled in.
Oh yeah, huh? Think about that.
Actually, I'm sorry. He's officially won every kind of title. The SmackDown tag titles were his first ever tag team championship in 20 years.
Really?
Okay. Now,
I didn't know that.
Yes. Now, Heath Slater, people don't realize, but he is I believe, a 4-time tag team champion. Yeah. He's held it with Justin Gabriel. He's held it, with other members of the Nexus. He's like you said, a phenomenal in-ring worker.
Yeah.
And he's good on the mic, and he's got charisma, and the fans love him. And even backstage,
you can't help but like him.
He's fun to talk to. Right.
Yeah. He's one of those guys.
And I just love how they say, Heath Slater, now coming to Raw, you can afford that in-ground pool.
They've been making that joke. They made that joke like last week too. They during WrestleMania or whenever it was. They're like, "Did they win this match?" Or it was during the Battle Royal. So he's like, "If he wins this, he can afford that in-ground pool finally." They've been making that joke for a couple of weeks now. It's still hilarious every time I hear it.
Oh yeah. Now here's the other thing. Could you see the potential of a Brock Lesnar, Wyatt feud? And not to mention, Eric Rowan is now without Bray Wyatt.
See, that's another one that was completely why they bring Eric Rowan back to obviously pair with Bray Wyatt, and now
right.
Whatever. Oh God.
But once again, it falls into that. It falls into that he lost on SmackDown.
Yeah.
These guys. Okay, Kurt Hawkins lost. Alexa Bliss lost. Rhino and Slater. I don't recall if they were in something. The Miz. He wasn't in anything, but he got showed up. Bray Wyatt lost. Dean Ambrose lost. These are all guys that lost on SmackDown.
Okay. As for your Brock and Bray thing, but Bray's a psychological thing and stuff, and Brock's character isn't exactly one that's going to fall for psychological warfare. He's pure intimidation.
Right, but you have to, if you remember, they were kind of building up to that feud with what happened at the Royal Rumble last year.
Okay.
It was
the one before. Well,
not this past one, but the year before. When Brock Lesnar took out the entire Wyatt family. Right.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I do remember that, yeah.
And everybody thought it was going to be a SummerSlam match. Right, and everybody thought it was going to be a SummerSlam match, and it didn't happen. I personally feel that The Miz is going to, end up United States champion again, or he's going to end up another Intercontinental, or he may end up Universal champion. But I think that, at some point, all three of these top guys are going to end up in, that title hunt at some point.
Oh, of course. The Miz, you can put him wherever and he'll be fine. He's one of those guys. He's a great hand no matter where you put him. And yeah, put him as the mid-card guy. I mean, like, you know, he's right. The Intercontinental Championship meant nothing until he got it. It hadn't been anything in years, and then this guy started carrying it. All of a sudden, it's like, what? Where's this been? You know?
Right. The Intercontinental title World Tour.
Yeah, and if he does that with the U.S. title, then yeah.
Right. Now, here's the other thing. Apollo Crews. And now, I'm not trying to get racist, okay, but he's a black guy.
Yeah. Yes.
He's going to end up with Titus O'Neil at some point.
You know what's funny is Apollo Crews, I was thinking about this today. The first time I saw him when he was like Ooh-Ah Nation or whatever he was called, you know, back in the day and stuff, and he was, I thought he was like the size of like Bobby Lashley. And I see he was like
when he was called what?
8. Like Ooh-Ah Nation or something is what he was called back in like the independent circuit. Is what he was called. It was something like that. But he was, but you know, I thought he was like the size of Bobby Lashley, and then he shows up on SmackDown or on Raw, and he's like 5'8". You're like, dude, I was a little disappointed by that, you know. But yeah, the guy's an outstanding worker. You know, I just wish that they would maybe bring out like a nasty streak in him. You know, I don't like the smiley happy thing. You know, come punch somebody in the mouth. You know, that's just
right.
You know.
Well, now I want to shift off of Raw. I want to predict SmackDown because we have about 12 minutes.
Okay.
You're looking at 9 people. Well, essentially 9 entities that have shifted. Okay.
Okay.
I have a feeling, even though he's injured, I have a feeling Rusev is going to get shifted to SmackDown because it's going to be a year before they do a shake-up again. You know, they shifted, you know, a wrestler with a manager. Boom. Why not shift another one? They're going to send Lana and Rusev to SmackDown.
Makes sense.
Enzo and Cass are going to be the tag team that gets shifted.
Mm-hmm.
Judging, I'm going to say Kevin Owens.
Makes sense.
I feel that Jinder Mahal's going.
I think, again, he's kind of swapped Kurt Hawkins. I get that. You know, or you know, or Apollo Crews, either or. You know, it doesn't really matter. You know.
Right. Now I see Charlotte going.
I hope not, but I honestly for the women, I mean, I would actually like to see what's her name Sasha Banks go over there. You know, it's kind of
it's possible. I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, because
it
doesn't make sense for you know, but then again, I guess you can't have both your best women heels on the same shows. So yeah, that makes sense. You know,
right.
Charlotte.
So you're going to shift. You know, Charlotte there. Judging by the backstage segment, I'm going to say Sami Zayn's going.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that Dana Brooke, either Dana Brooke or Emma are getting shifted.
I would actually. If Charlotte goes, I hope Dana Brooke doesn't follow. I hope it's Emma, because again, Dana Brooke can be on her own. You know,
right?
Like
but now, you know, it's going to leave a void in the heel section if both of them go, because now you're going to have 2 heels, but you know they just got done having now a third heel. So if you shift one of them, you know, and it's a tough call. Like something inside of me says the New Day. And only because of the resurgence now that they've acquired. If there was nothing more, you know, Raw has acquired 3 tag teams in the past 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
SmackDown lost 2 tag teams. They lost the Vaudevillains, and they lost Rhino and Heath Slater. So shifting Enzo and Cass isn't going to fix the void. Unless Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa show up, you know, they're going to need to shift somebody else.
Oh, I love those guys.
Oh, dude, I'm huge on it. It's my ringtone. Their entrance theme is my ringtone. You know, and like they always say, you can't rely on anybody else to do it for you. You got to do it yourself, DIY.
Yep.
You know, take matters in your own hands. But
Yeah,
you know,
I
could legit see the New Day going over there to fill that void. You know, why else would they lose 2 weeks in a row?
Well, because it gives the Revival some legitimacy. You know, by beating the New Day, who are legit. It's not like they went out there and they beat the Vaudevillains. You know, no, they beat the New Day. You know, so that kind of, you know, that puts a little feather in your cap. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
But now here's the other question. You know, knowing that that's going to show that they may end up over there. I mean, you could turn around and end up if they're a legitimate tag team, send them to SmackDown, let them also become the longest reigning SmackDown champions in history, regardless of whether it's 8 months, 9 months, or 6 months. But now here's the other thing. Speaking of shifts, I mentioned Kevin Owens. He was with the Authority more or less, you know, and with Samoa Joe. So now how does this affect Triple H's authority that he's building up? That just disintegrates that right there.
I think that they're going to do something impromptu. Cause I think they're going to move Chris Jericho over, and he's going to win the title. Is what they're going to do. I don't have to worry about it.
But again, why have him win the title if he's leaving at the end of the month because he's going on tour?
Yeah. Or maybe they do a house show.
The rule is you have to defend the title once every 30 days.
You know, unless you're Dean Ambrose, who doesn't have to, but...
Well, yeah. But I mean, it's a tough call. And part of me wants to say Roman Reigns is going to get shifted.
He's not. No way.
Well, they need that. They want that Super Cena feel. They want that big name, the guy that they're trying to push to be the new top guy. They're going to shift. I feel that they're going to shift him to, you know, Raw. I'm sorry, to SmackDown. Or they may shift Brock Lesnar, okay, and, yeah, both belts will be on Raw for a little, SmackDown for a little bit, but you're looking at the House of Horrors match. Bray Wyatt wins that. Well, now the WWE Championship goes to Raw, and the Universal Championship goes to SmackDown.
I just don't see that because I truly in my heart believe that Cena's being worked at SummerSlam for the world title. They're just going to do it.
But you know, you got to look at it
17.
this way. It wouldn't be the first time that World Championships have switched shows.
Oh no, it wouldn't be the first. Yeah, of course not. But it would be interesting. But you know, wouldn't they have already moved Orton over? You know,
not necessarily because they didn't do it in the past. You know, Monday Night Raw is the flagship show, and you're going to put the iconic WWE Championship on the quote-unquote secondary show, and then create a belt for Raw. They're going to find a way to shift that belt back to, you know, to Raw, and move the made-up belt, you know, to SmackDown, just like they did the original brand split. They had the World Heavyweight Championship. They brought that out on Raw and gave that to Triple H. And then, you know, Bischoff gave it to Triple H, and you had Cena on SmackDown with the WWE Championship. And then for whatever reason, the trades happened and, you know, or matches lost. I don't remember how it played out, but Cena ended up on Raw, and the World Heavyweight Championship was lost in a match and went to SmackDown. And it became the mainstay for the belts. So Vince McMahon is not going to allow the World Heavyweight or the biggest belt in the industry with the longest history to be on the second show.
Yeah, although in all honesty, SmackDown's a better program anyway now. But that's, you know, but I understand that's not Vince's eyes. You know, But somehow Raw keeps getting better ratings. Raw's pulling out 3 million viewers, 3.2, 3.4. SmackDown's only pulling a steady 2.6, 2.7, 2.8. They're still behind in the ratings, even almost a year later. I thought they were ahead at the beginning. I thought they were ahead.
No,
it
was just the first SmackDown Live episode because it was live. You know?
Okay. Yeah, but still, I mean, a Tuesday night, you know, I mean, you know, that's pretty impressive.
Right, but you also have to look at this way. For a while, you also had the presidential race going on You had Monday Night Football going on. You had a lot of that going on, at one point, which is why SmackDown was coming real close or was in a lead by maybe 100,000 viewers.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I understand that. They're I mean, if they do move Brock, that's fine. I mean, that was kind of where he made his name was on SmackDown for the most part. I mean, his feuds on SmackDown were phenomenal. So maybe it is a good idea to move it back, and do that whole thing. I mean, you could put Paul Heyman anywhere. I mean, you could put Paul Heyman out on a garbage can. He'd sell it, because it's Paul Heyman. So as long as Heyman goes with him, it don't matter.
I'm sorry.
Hello?
Say that again. You kind of cut out.
I said, as long as Paul Heyman goes with him, you can put Paul Heyman anywhere. He could sell a garbage can, because he's Paul Heyman. So
exactly. Exactly.
I mean,
and seeing Paul Heyman over there, I think that would be phenomenal. Seeing him have it out with the likes of AJ Styles and that could also set up for stuff like Shinsuke Nakamura. Yeah.
Maybe start building up some more Heyman guys kind of thing. I don't know. I mean, they were trying that for a little bit. I don't know if that'll work though.
Well, if you shift him over, Shinsuke's not very good on the mic.
No, not at all.
So if you shift Paul Heyman over, well, now you get a mouthpiece
for Shinsuke.
That's
not just Shinsuke, but also Asuka. Imagine having both those two, and having Paul Heyman hyping them. Oh, that'd be a beautiful thing.
Right.
So.
But we're coming up on the 2-minute mark, man. So do you have any final guesses on who is going to get shifted over?
I honestly, overall, I think you're on to something with everybody. I'm not sure about the New Day. It makes sense, but I don't know who else it would be. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they move to now. They won't put Sheamus and Cesaro. I don't know who it would be. So that makes perfect sense. Yeah, I kind of like the Brock Lesnar thing. Now that I've been thinking about it, that would actually be kind of a smart move. And just, switch it back, because, of course, I would see Bray Wyatt hold the title, get that belt back, because, that's about it.
Right, I'm big on Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, I think most fans are, we love the guy. We think he's phenomenal. All right. I don't know what else to say. The Raw was actually the actual shakeup on Raw was surprising. It really was. There was stuff that actually was a legit shakeup, and I think it was really well done for that exact reason. There were people that you're like, what? And that was good.
Exactly. There were a lot of shakeups, but on that note, Tim, I want to thank you very much for helping to assist me this evening and being my guest co-host.
Of course.
And listen tomorrow night. We only do callers on Sundays, but you feel free to listen to Mike and I, because Mike says that he will be here. If not, if I need your assistance tomorrow, I will definitely be giving you a ring, so to speak.
Okay.
And for everybody out there listening, stay tuned. We're going to finish up with the SmackDown recap for the shakeup tomorrow night, and be sure to follow us on Facebook at Body Slam the Competition, on Twitter at Body Slam the Comp, and on YouTube at bodyslamthecompetition.com. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow night. Thanks again, Tim.
Thank you very much.